Hey guys, and good morning, and thanks for joining me for the last day of Booktube-a-thon. I'm going to do my last video challenge, and today's video challenge is to tell a little story about not why you enjoy reading, but like a story behind, I guess, why you love reading. Maybe it is why you love reading, or why reading is so important to you, or just a story that means a lot to you about why you read. I am going to tell a little story, and at the end of my video I think I'm going to do a little bit of a haul, because yesterday in my video challenge I said I had things to do and I couldn't read all day, so I'm going to tell a little bit about what I did yesterday, and I have a little bit of a haul to go with what I did yesterday. The reason why I love reading, or a little story about why reading is important to me, or whatever you want to say. I read a lot as a kid, but it was like reading was the cool thing to do. When I was not quite in middle school, Goosebumps were really popular, and it was like you were cool if that's what you read. And I did read them and I did enjoy them, but it was almost like reading, I was doing it because everyone else was doing it, not solely because I enjoyed reading them, but mostly because everyone else was doing it. Which is, even though it's reading, it's not a good reason to do anything just because someone else is doing it. And I've gone in and out of reading periods throughout my entire life. I read Twilight when it was really popular, I read Harry Potter when it was really popular. And I've always gone in and out of these phases where I was reading, but it was like I was only reading one thing. I was only reading Harry Potter. I was only reading Goosebumps. I was only reading Twilight. That was all I was reading. And then about, let's say, I've been at my job almost 7 years. So we'll say 5 or 6 years ago, I met someone at my job, and we got talking about the TV show Bones, and she said, there is a book series that you would really like. And she knew I kind of liked to read, because we had talked about books, but it wasn't something that I did avidly. So she brought in a book by Kathy Reichs, and I read it and I just fell in love with it. Thanks to this book, I read every single book in her series. It turned me into such a reader, and I couldn't wait until her next book was coming out. I would pre-order them. I just was so excited to read all of her books. And from reading this series, I found her other series and I read all of those books, and it just propelled me into the reader that I am now. It started with just her books and her 2 different series, and then it stemmed into books that were similar to what she wrote. She writes thrillers and mysteries, so I tried other thrillers and mysteries, and now I can say, thankfully, that I like all sorts of books. I would say dystopian is one of my favorite type of genres. I love fantasy, I love sci-fi, I still love mysteries and thrillers, but I have become such an avid reader thanks to my coworker and this book series, and I'm so thankful for that. And unfortunately we don't work together anymore, so I can't tell her how much I appreciate her sharing Kathy Reichs' books with me, but I'm so thankful, because I don't know what I would do if I didn't read now. When I finish a book now, I feel like I need to start another one right away, because I love reading so much now. That's my little story about like why I like to read, or why reading is important to me. Or yesterday I was reading some of Hunted by Megan Spooner, and I am almost finished now. I have about a quarter of the book left to go, but I couldn't read all day and afternoon and evening and everything like that, because I had said I had things to do. So yesterday, as much as I talk about my kids on here, I feel like I never talk about my husband. My husband is an amazing man. He knows what I like. And so yesterday we went on a date, and a perfect date for me, he knows, is taking me out to dinner which usually is a sushi restaurant because I love sushi. And when we go to our favorite sushi restaurant, he always takes me to the Goodwill that is almost right next door. So I got a few books, so a perfect date night for me. He takes me out for sushi and he takes me to buy books. So I got 3 books yesterday and I was pretty excited. So the first one I got was Legend by Marie Lu. I do not have any of her books. I have not read any, but I do think that I will love this series. I believe it is a dystopian, but I'm not sure. But I have heard so many people talk about it and talk about how good it is, and I've actually had one of my friends tell me that I would really enjoy this series. So I was really excited to find the first one of this, and I'm also really looking forward to Warcross by her that is coming out in October. The second book that I got is I Am Number 4. This is another one that I've heard people talk about, and I checked I wasn't sure if this was the book I was thinking about, so I checked it on Goodreads. I most of the time, if I see a book and I'm like, I think I've heard someone talk about that, I'll check it like on my phone. I'll check the Goodreads reviews and the ratings before I buy it at the Goodwill. So this was another one that it had pretty good ratings. It has like a 4-star rating, so I was pretty impressed with that one, so I went ahead and picked this one up. And the last one I got, which would have been really helpful yesterday for yesterday's challenge, is You by Caroline Kepnes, because we all know that I really struggled yesterday with finding a book that started with a Y, and now I have one, but I wish I would have had it yesterday. But I'm pretty excited to read that one because I've heard a lot of booktubers talk about that one, and I think I'll probably read that one in October when we're getting into the more Halloween-y thriller season, because right now I as much as I love thrillers and mysteries, I'm really not in the mood to read them. It doesn't feel like a very summery thing to read. I've been really into contemporaries and fantasies right now, so I think that's what I'm going to stick with. Those were the 3 books I got at the Goodwill yesterday, and that was really fun. And so I'm hoping today to finish Hunted by Megan Spooner, and I'm hoping to finish The Call of the Wild because it's not raining here anymore. So those are my plans for today, and hopefully in the next few days I'll get a monthly recap video up about how I did, and hopefully I'll be able to talk about Booktube-a-thon and things I read before Booktube-a-thon started. So thanks for joining me. If you liked this video, please leave me a like, and if you're interested in seeing more videos by me, please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye!